think we're live. Hello guys. Just audio checks as usual. Is it loud? Music is loud enough, right? I guess. Is it loud? Right. Yeah, I can hear myself now on stream. Hello, welcome to another Golang stream here, guys. And it's good to see you all again. I'm pretty sure there's probably 2 people watching right now. So, you know, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna do some audio checks as usual, and then we can continue with the stream. The music is loud enough, right? I guess. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, yeah, so... How is everyone? How is everyone doing? I can't really see the stats anymore. I think YouTube changed the UI, so it's very difficult to actually see the stats, but yeah, I mean, I hope that everyone can hear me, and I hope you guys are doing well in this Friday evening, so... Yeah, let me get some of the work here, and let me get some of the examples I want to show you guys. So cards HTML. Yeah, as you can probably guess from the title of the stream, we're going to be doing some Golang today. We're going to continue working on our Headless CMS, where we're going to be adding support for cards. So, you know, adding support to the database, adding support to the admin application, so we can kind of add cards through the admin application, right? That's the point. And also we're going to be displaying these cards in a sort of like, I guess an easy way with Templ, right? And I haven't really figured how I'm going to do some of this stuff yet, and hence why the stream. So I kind of want to ask some of you guys how you would implement it, and whether the way I'm thinking about things is kind of good enough, right? So I think it's always good to actually start with Excali draw, so we can kind of draw out what we kind of want to do, right? Hello, Peter. Peter, that's a very good, very good name to see right here, because I haven't seen you in ages, dude. I hope you're doing well. How's your university, man? I ask you this question all the time, but I hope you're doing good. Been a minute, been super busy with a school project. Yeah, man, that's good to hear. I mean, it's good to hear that you are focusing, right? And yeah, man, what I can say is, like, if it's your last year, just focus on that. Focus on that, because you only get one chance, and you want to make sure that you do it right. So, but yeah, dude, it's good to see you here, and it's good to have you watching the stuff here, so you can catch some errors for me as well. Yeah, so let's start the Golang application and kind of talk about the development that I've kind of done recently. So I'm gonna just use Docker Compose here, Docker Compose to start the application, and that means we have an application here. So I haven't really done much, I'm not gonna lie. I've not really done much at all in Urchin in the last week. What I did do, however, is I kind of finished up the work on the file upload. So in essence, we have a simple file upload where you can upload media. Well, in other words, where you can upload images. That's the only thing we can support right now. And that's through the admin application, right? So all the work that we did in the stream, where we added the multi-form parser to our application, is kind of done, and we can now save images to the database. We can save images to the specified media directory, all through the admin page. What we don't have yet is a way to reference those images in the application itself. So yeah, I mean, but you know, that way that work is kind of done. When I say kind of done, I mean there's still some work to do, but the main PR is done. So last 6 months to get done with bootcamp, so I gotta be good. Let me be quiet as I'm like, no worries, dude. We can chat, man. I'm here to chat, Peter. So I love chatting with you, dude. Today we're gonna be doing some cards, as I said, right? So cards is kind of like, it's, you know, the word says it all. It's a card in HTML. So you can have some information such as this one here. You can have like an image and then some text and then some more information here. And this is kind of not quite a post, because it's a different structure to posts. You can generally store any arbitrary sort of data here. So in this case, they've got like Jane Doe, an image of Jane Doe, I guess, and their position, which is like an interior designer. But I want to do it so the user can provide any kind of information that they want on the database, right? So you can have a card, for example, for a car, and you might want to store, you know, the car model, the year that the car was made or something like that, the car maker, so, you know, any arbitrary data. So in a way, I don't want to implement this where we have a table in the database called cards where you can only import certain types of information. I want the user to be able to import anything. Now, I've asked you guys on the Discord, I was actually just sending a message earlier on to the general chat, just to kind of validate my point here. So I think a good implementation of this would kind of be where you can, I'm going to turn the music down a little bit for me and then up for you. Yeah, just kind of have a table for the cards, but you can store like JSON data on the card itself, and maybe the location to the image of the card as well, right? So I think that's a good enough implementation for now. But yeah, let's kind of figure out what we want to do today, right? So yeah, let's put our little card table here. I'm going to put a text called card. This is a cards table. And I'm not sure what I want in this table yet, but let's just, like, you know, draw out some ideas here. Can I turn this to a little bit bigger? Yes, I can. So large. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And there you go. Yeah, so let's begin with the data then. So I think, you know, the card ID is obviously something we're gonna have to do. So we need to have maybe a GUID here for the card ID, and we can already do GUIDs in the framework because we have a dependency that kind of generates GUIDs with the v4 implementation. So that's easy enough for us to get, right? So that's the ID of a card. Now the other data that we want, I definitely want to. I know that we want to store an image, the main image for the card, right? So this is going to be like a path to image right here, and this is going to be like where in the I guess where in the framework it's going to be stored, right? So it's probably going to be like media and an image, because that's what we can do right now. And then the actual card data, right? So the data is going to be like a JSON string. That's what I'm thinking right now, but I'm not too sure yet. We may or may not extend this. So we have the data, which is going to be like a string, a JSON string, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of this implementation right now. So this is what we're going to get started with on the database side. No Kingdom Hearts music, please, because we get copyright strikes. There you go. And how can I link all of this together now? I'm going to group the selection. There you go. Group all of this so we can move things around, which is good. I mean, so in essence, I want to do this on the database. I want to implement a table called cards, and each row is going to have this information here, right? Now, what does this look like for the user? So for the user, I'm not entirely sure yet. I mean, where are we in the... Oh, right. Let me finish. Let me just terminate the Docker Compose instances here. Okay. And I think we've got the code here. So are we on main? No, yeah, we can check out to the main branch. Let's work from the main branch. Let's pull whatever work we've got. And here we are. Now for the user, I would love it if they could kind of say what we can expect to be stored in the card JSON itself, right? So maybe we need a way to kind of extend this a little bit. So we also have like the name of the schema that should be used to decode the JSON data, right? So let's do that. So schema name, which is a string. Let's group the selection again. Okay. And the reason why we want to store the schema here is because we want to make sure that inside the Golang application, whenever we pull a card, we're going to read that schema name, and we're going to make sure that the schema is available to us somewhere in the application, right? So maybe we can have a directory where the schemas are stored, and then we read all of them and, you know, try and keep them all in memory. So yeah, and then we can use that schema to decode all this information here from the database into a Golang structure, right? And I have kind of had a peek at what we can kind of do. So if we look at Golang JSON schema, there's a few libraries which kind of provide this functionality for us. One of them was this first one that I essentially just looked at the first one that I found, basically. I'm not gonna lie, I was very lazy. But it's an implementation of JSON schema for the Go application, supports these standards here. I guess there are standards for JSON schemas, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it looked fairly easy to use. So we can have like a file path here to the JSON schema, so the schema loader. And then we can validate a document. Oh, there's a document loader as well. So we can load whatever gets returned from the database card with this JSON schema loader, right? And if it doesn't work, we don't return the card at all from the database. But if it does work, we know that we can pass it into our Templ application for it to be rendered onto HTML. I thought that this was a very neat way of kind of defining these schemas. But I'm not entirely sure if this is how we're going to do it, because there must be a way to do it with Templ as well, right? So we could let the user define like a view file which actually defines the structures for the schema. I don't know. And then we can kind of do without having an extra dependency in Urchin, right? Because I kind of want to keep this with the, you know, fewer dependencies as possible, basically. But yeah. But let's take a look here. Maybe we can spend 5 minutes just looking at what's available here. So there is a JSON schema. Oh, I guess it's the same one, right? I'm looking for something that's kind of easy to use as well. I don't want to make it very complicated. This one has 466 stars, and this one has has a lot more stars, so yeah. But let's take a look at the usage of each one. Oh no, this is just an application for validating JSONs. Yeah, maybe we can do with a Go JSON schema dependency, right? But yeah, I mean, maybe we can take a look at this then. So yeah, let's keep this one in mind. Maybe that's what we're going to use. So yeah, from going back to the main design. So the idea here is that the user would be able to specify something in the configuration file of Urchin, which, by the way, we have a configuration file now. That's probably something I didn't stream because it was very easy work, but we read all the configuration from the JSON, and it's kind of called Urchin config, right? So essentially what I want to do is, like, maybe I can have something here called card or cards, right? And then I can pass in, my schema, my name, I guess, for the schema. So schema name, and it's going to be something like, name 1 or something like that. So schema 1 or something. And I'm going to say where to find this schema. So schema location. And then we can, have a path to the schema here. And what else do we need? I think, pretty much that's it. And I guess we can have this as an array as well. So we can have like cards like that, right? So that would be an array in JSON in a TOML. And then you can provide as many as you want down here, right? So, oh, that's not what I meant. So we can have another schema, schema 2, path to schema 2. And you get the idea, right? So the user can provide whatever structures they want, and whatever kind of schemas schema names are loaded from the database, we're going to check that it was defined here. And if it wasn't defined, we're going to sort of skip the card, right? And it, it gives us a nice way to also kind of filter the cards by the schema name. So if you want a page that only displays a certain type of cards, we can select all the IDs where the schema value or the schema name is equals to something, right? And we can pass that from Golang quite easily. I think this sounds like a general enough way of doing things, right? So please, if there's anyone watching this that thinks differently, feel free to suggest something here. But yeah. So, I think the first change that we can definitely do is the TOML configuration, right? So let's do that. So, right. Yeah, let's make that change. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the text better, and let me know. I think Peter, you're probably the only person here, so let me know if you can see the code, and if you can't, I will make it better. But yeah, I mean, configuration-wise, where was it? I think it's actually my application itself. Setup roots. It's wherever I have the configuration stuff. So TOML can see clearly, sir. Thank you, Peter. And let's look for Go files. There you go. So that is going to be my main files. We have the configurations here. Flag.toString, okay. And then how do we do it? Yeah, currently I'm basically just oh yeah, so it's a very easy change right now, because what we can have is we can have schemas, so card schemas, I guess, and that is actually going to be a vector of, let's put card here, right? And then we can do TOML. This is going to be cards. Now let's kind of keep this in order. So you can see that we don't have that, which is fine. We can go in here and then just do another structure. So cards. Type struct. And yeah, let's put that information here and see if we can pass the documentation itself. Sorry, the current configuration itself. So what do we want? I think we wanted a name, right? Something like name, I believe it was, which is going to be a string, and the TOML file is going to be called schema name, I believe, right? And then we also have the path, right? So schema path, I believe it was. Let's see if we can, first of all, close everything we don't need, and then just keep focused on the two files that we're actually taking a look at. So these two. So we have cards here, and then we have schema location, right? I'm wondering if I should replace this with card schema. Yeah. And that's a little bit easier, right? And then in here we can have a card schema. And what is going on here? Yeah, these variables, if you know Golang, they need to be capital named, because otherwise it's not exported and you can't use the marshaller to unmarshal the TOML configuration, right? So in here we have card schema. And I'm hoping that this just works, right? So we're going to take a look in a bit. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's mainly it. Like, what else are we gonna? What else do we need to do here? So what is the error F here? Error F string should not end with punctuation. Okay, that's fine. We can remove that. And just to make things nicely formatted, let's run go fmt to make sure everything's nicely formatted for us. And let's run this and see if we actually get the the schema loaded in, right? So I do already have a launch.json set up for this project, where we can just simply run this and then check that we are in fact loading the correct configuration. And for that, let me see something. So app, admin app. So yeah, let's debug the normal app. This change should work for both admin apps and the normal application, because this structure and the TOML reading is done for, you know, in the same way for both of them. So we're reusing code as opposed to having two separate functions that will read the TOML files for each application. So I expect this to just work inside my CMD, if I can find it. So CMD urchin, okay, main. Yeah, let's put a breakpoint there and let's run this, right, shall we? So you can see that we're reading the, no config file, reading the environment variables, right? So that's not right. We should probably look at the configuration here. So what do we have? Yeah, we don't have the args enabled here, so we can do that. We're going to pass in that configuration. There you go. Config is going to be workspace folder. I think it's called urchin config.toml. I'm going to have the same thing here. Oh no, actually. Okay, so now we should be good to go. Let's run it again. And we're reading the configuration file. So reading config file, yes, we got a message here, which should have been the information. And we have the settings. So we didn't actually read anything. Oh, right, so could not find config file. Okay, so could not open config files, workspace folder urchin, right? So that is probably because I made a typo. Workspace, yeah, should be workspace. You know, workspace might be something you want if you're making some Chinese food, I guess. Let's rerun it. Okay, so it did read, and yeah, we can see that we read the card schemas here. So we've got name and path. They have not been read. Oh, okay, so the paths haven't been read. So we have two of them, but we didn't set them. Now, why is that? Is it because I have a typo in the name somewhere? We can figure that out. Schema path, schema, okay. Schema location. Now let's change it to path, right? Oh yeah, and I made a typo here as well. Okay. Schema path, schema... Oh. Okay. Yeah, one interesting thing is that we just realized that it tried to parse the TOML file, but it didn't quite work, right? And I wonder why. Like it identified that there's two schemas in the urchin config, but we didn't return an error because these were invalid basically. And I kind of want to, you know, make sure that it fails when the names aren't correct. So let's see if we can do that with this library here. So we are using this TOML decode file. So decode the file content into, okay, yeah. So maybe I need to look at the documentation to, maybe there's a setting we can change, burn sushi, TOML. It has reflection, and we want to make sure that it fails. Maybe there's a decode settings we can set. I'm just kind of like just shooting in the dark here. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a way to change the TOML settings, so if it encounters a value that's not expecting or that's wrong, it will fail instead of just silently continuing, right? Because that's not what we want. Documentation. Oh no, this is not the burnt sushi one. Documentation is here. So new decoder. Type metadata. Yeah, let's see if we can look at the decoder. So I have a decode.decoder. What am I actually setting here? TOML decode file. So that's what I'm using. Maybe I can just look at, TOML and then see what flags we can set. Okay, yeah, we didn't return any errors there though. Huh, this is interesting. Is there no way to really set the decoding? I can't really see any functions here that would allow me to do that. So what is parse error? Parse error is returned when there's an error parsing TOML syntax, such as invalid syntax, duplicate keys, etc. In addition to the error itself, you can also print detailed location information with context using error with position. Are there examples maybe that we can see here? Oh, this is the wrong one. I'm looking for the GitHub itself. There you go. Examples. Let's see how they do it in their examples. So maybe we can check out the metadata, right? Because this actually does return something which is in the metadata. If you look at here, it returns the metadata object. Maybe this is the function that we need to make sure that we use somehow. So is defined type unencoded? What is that? Undecoded returns all keys that have not been decoded in the order in which they appear in the original. Okay, so this is something we can use. I feel much better about this one. Because in theory, this should contain, right, an array of keys. So if we can do, if the length of this is more than 0, right? We can just do a for loop on each one of those. So if key is it in range, or for key and then range of metadata.unencoded, maybe we can do something even better here. So we can do undecoded keys is equals to this, and then the length of undecoded keys is more than 0. We can undecoded keys here. So we're gonna do an error, I guess var error. How do I do an empty error in Golang? I have no idea. Var error, error, right? Something like that. And then we can use the errors dot join, I believe it is. And that should do, right? So this is just a key. So what is the issue here? So key, what type is this? What do we get here? Let's just print whatever it is then. Okay. And then at the end of it, we're simply going to return app settings and then our error. Yeah, right? Simple as that. Now let's see if we run this again with the wrong file, if it's gonna work. So in other words, like we have this key here that's wrong. It's not gonna decode that. And we expect it to error out, right? And it didn't error out. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Why didn't it error out? Maybe we can go into that function and see what was actually going on here. So what does this do? Ah, okay, it takes, okay. So is there a way to send all of these as a... So we do something like this, errors.join. fmt.errorf, unable to decode. Config keys, and then we do something like undecoded keys. Does that work? Does that work? No, it doesn't work. I'm wondering if there's a way to kind of set all of these values in the vector as variadic arguments here. But Golang set. You can do easily. Hello, Slim. How can I do that easily, dude? So I've got a list here that I want to send as the variadic arguments here. So let's see that. Yes. How can I pass a slice to it? Don't tell me it's just literally like args. Okay, I mean. Error F, right error. I just joined null, but I can see what you're doing. Yeah, it's not that. I'm not doing that. I'm basically just trying to do this. But this is not going to work, is it? Too many arguments in quotes to join errors. You want error. I guess I want to transform these into errors, right? Is there a transform function? I mean, worst case scenario, I can kind of just do turn all of these things into a string, right? So let me think about this. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can use what you said because I do want to concatenate these errors, right? So I kind of want to do something like, you know, let's bring this up here, and we've got var error. Error F, and then just an empty error there to start with. And I can do something like this. So error is now going to be equals to fmt.errorf, which had the previous error, I guess v here. And then something like and we have the previous error and then the key here. Right? That should give us some ugly looking errors, but oh well. And then we can just return the error here, right? Hopefully that's gonna work. So let's see. So how are you doing, Slim? How was work this week, man? Hopefully busy. Okay, so each key, there you go. Now we've got an error. Could not decode keys 0. I mean, doesn't really give us much, but at least it gives us an error. Yeah, it doesn't give us much, but it gives us an error. Now, can I kind of maybe give out some more information about this? Let's see. So what do we have available here for a key? Undecoded keys, metadata keys. Yeah, there's nothing really on the key that we can use. So, but this returns a key, right? So what is it? Value represents any TOML key, including key groups. Use metadata keys to get the value of this type. Wait, what? Use metadata keys to get the values of this type. Are there any examples? So on the key we have string, maybe quoted. So what is the string representation of this? This is kind of making an empty slice of the length of the keys. Length of the key, from the looks of it. And k may be quoted I. Strings.join ss with a dot. So it joins all of them too. Okay, can we do that? What if we just paste that in there? So if we do an s instead. Wrong type int string. Because there is a string, right? No, there isn't. This is a key int. An array of keys. But this is saying that a key is a string and not an integer. I don't understand what's going on here. That is so weird. Like, oh, let's look at the metadata anyway. So we have metadata, and we have key, which is a value. Key represents any TOML key, including key groups. Use metadata keys to get values of this type. So this is obviously like an integer to I guess a key location somewhere. And this is what it looked like. Could not decode keys. .0. But what if we do metadata? Keys. What is that? MD keys. So key info here, a map. So decoded is actually, wait, undecoded, what is that? It's just an array of keys. But here it says keys is an array of strings. Can I do something like this then? String.join or something? Does that work? Hey, what is the string join function in Golang? Oh, strings. Okay, sorry, I get confused between string and strings, but yeah. Cannot use key, variable type int. And we just have 0 there. I'm so confused of how to actually get the name of the key here for the error, but this is just an error, like I don't really care too much. Maybe we can move on now. Put dash key for, I don't think it will work because this is a string. This is a... Yeah, this returns a list of keys, right? Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is a map actually. Is this gonna work? So what do we have now? Oh, not here. There you go. It will key as index. Yeah, key as index, but... okay, now I have a TOML key. That makes sense. I was just confused because this seems to be returning an array of key. And key is an array of strings. So it's actually returning an array of an array of strings. Well, I mean, I'm still confused because like this is a... It's as if this is a map. But this is actually just an array of... Yeah, that's interesting. Not there on the 4. Yeah. Sorry, Khan. We're a bit delayed, dude, but... But anyway, let's see what we can get here now. Let's rerun this and see if we get a nicer error this time. Okay, yeah, that's better. That's better. Thank you, Khan. I mean, I'm still confused as to why this is a map and not a list, because undecoded returns a list of key. And key itself is a list of strings. So does that mean it's a mapping go when you have like a list of a list? Range can return index and value for slices and maps. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a skill issue. Thank you, guys. Thank you for pointing out my skill issue. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we have error F, card schema, location. So now can I do something like this then? Can I do errors.join? Error, and then I pass in the undecoded keys. Does that work? Too many arguments in function call. We have error TOML key. We want just error. Okay, yeah, we couldn't do that. Okay, and that should make it nicer now. Yeah, I'll keep it as long, but oh well. At least we show an error now, right? There you go. Could not read card schema location. That's good. So that tells us that we have something wrong here, which should be an easy fix now. But at least it fails if we have something wrong, which is good. So for those that just tuned in, we're doing some card support on the Urchin framework. And I want the user to be able to pass in a schema for a particular key. And that schema is going to be used to decode the information that's on a database. Because I want to make sure that the user of Urchin can basically just store whatever card information it is on the database. So it will probably look something like this. So we have the cards table, and we will have the ID, which is a GUID. We also have the image, the path to the image of the card, which is kind of like this thing here. Let me bring it back. And we have the data itself, which is the JSON, which is going to be stored in the database. But then we got to make sure that we also provide it a schema name. So if that schema name is what the user will say, is what the user will put into the application, so that we can kind of make sure that whatever's on the database matches what the user is expecting, right? And it makes it very flexible so that you can add any sort of card information that you want. And we will also be able to kind of filter it by the schema type, right? Which is a good thing. And this is all going to be, put somewhere in our Templ views for the rendering. So yeah, we have the configuration part of it done. Maybe we should move on to the, I guess, the more interesting like database stuff, right? So yeah, let's look at the migrations and see how we can add a new migration to this. So the last migration I had, I guess it would be like similar to adding the post here, right? So we can kind of just copy and paste this somewhere. And I'm gonna use again Goose, which is what we're using for the migrations. And I'm gonna check out my history because I can't remember exactly what command it is to add a particular new migration. So this is it. So goose up, we're looking for something like this one here, right? This is what we're kind of looking at. So that's the database we're going to be insert. Oh no, that's to get the migration down to something. We want to goose add. There you go, goose create add sample posts SQL. This is what we're looking at. Yeah, I mean let's add the cards SQL, right? Add cards table. And then we have a new migration up to us here. And we can basically just copy and paste from here. Now, this is going to be called cards, and I guess we're going to be doing something like this one here as well. Like we don't want to have an ID as the post. We kind of just want to have a UUID, which is the primary key instead. Now, looking at our plan here, we've got the image, which is a string, data JSON, which is also going to be a string, I guess, and the schema, which is also going to be the same schema name, right? So all of these can basically just be a text null. So we have the image, which is the path. Oh, is image a reserved keyword in SQL? That's not a reserved keyword, is it? Oh, it seems to be a reserved keyword. Well, interesting. We can call it something else. Image path or image location. We want data as well. Let's be explicit and call it JSON. And then the JSON schema, right? And then for the teardown, we're gonna just simply drop the table, right? So now let's see if we can run this migration. So again, I'm gonna consult my history, so we can do, oh god, goose up. Right, so there is something wrong here. So failed to run SQL migration, failed to execute query, create table cards. Table blah blah blah, error. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to a MariaDB. So error, okay. At line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, of course. My bad. And we still have that. At line 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should I not have a... Oh, there you go. So yeah, I mean, apparently that migration worked, and we can take a look at the MySQL now. Let's use the urchin table, or use the Go CMS table. Show tables, I believe it is. Oh gosh, I keep forgetting. Use Go CMS. I know it's there because it worked, right? Carlos didn't get a single notification, dude. I mean, I'm disappointed he didn't join at the start, dude. But you know, I'm glad you're here anyway, man. Hope you're doing good, and well done on the new job, by the way. So, if we can get a heart emoji on the chat, Carlos just passed all his new job assignments, I guess. So well done to him, right? I'm gonna drop one myself here, and hopefully that will be you guys soon as well. I refuse to not be part of a Go stream. Yeah, man, we could use your knowledge here, man. I mean, I just basically had a massive skill issue like 10 minutes ago when I was not knowing how to use the range function in Go. So that was embarrassing, but we got there in the end. Don't forget to hydrate yourself, guys. Don't forget to hydrate yourselves, all right? Yeah, so let's show the tables. And let's... Is it describe images? There you go. So this is what we have. Oh no, that's images. We don't want images, we want posts. No, we want cards. All looks fine, right? That's good. Now the next thing we have to do is to modify our admin application so we can actually hit an endpoint that will add a card, right? So yeah, let's do just that, I guess. Let's do just that. So we have everything we need because we need an image location, and we have a way to, I guess, push images to the card, right? And yeah, we have a way to push images to the application now, because we've done that a few streams ago, and I finished that work. And yeah, I mean, let's just get into it. So we have image here. Let's add a new file called cards.go in the admin app. I'm just going to copy and paste from the posts, and then we can just remove all of this that we don't need. Now, yeah, we need to support a few endpoints now, which will be, I guess, get, post, and delete, right? So we kind of do want all of these still. Yeah, we kind of want all of this still. We're just going to change the names. So we want a get card endpoint. Oh, so get card handler, I guess. And we do want a database here. We will need a database connection because obviously we're going to be looking at the database for this. Cool. I'm going to leave the rest as is for now. And we want a post card handler. We want a put card handler if you want to change a particular card. And then we want to delete the card handler as well, right? Now, the most interesting to start with would, I guess, be the post one, right? Because this is where we can like actually push a card to the database. So Carlos, I got caught up with the chat. Yeah, I definitely need to look into learning SQL. But anyway, yeah, let's create that type struct here, or type, I guess, card post, card request. What did we call it before for the post one? I can't remember now. Add post request, right? So we're gonna add card request, and that's gonna be a struct. And this is where we're gonna just put all the information that we need. So I believe that we have all of these. I'm just gonna copy paste it here and then change it to Golang. So we need UID is going to be generated for us. We don't have to pass that in. SQLC is nice. I don't know what SQLC is. What the hell is that? Compile SQL to type safe code. All right. That sounds very interesting. That sounds like something we could do in the future. So what does it compile SQL to what language? Support. Oh yeah, it's here. Languages and databases. Oh, Go! That's amazing, dude. Thank you. I'm gonna definitely take this as a hint, and I'm gonna do a stream on this in the future. SQL C. I'm actually gonna write it on my list of things to stream here. So I've got like this nifty notepad where I just keep like all my thoughts, everything into it, so I don't forget about them. And this is gonna be one of them. So try out SQL C on stream. Thank you, Carlos. It's basically Templ for SQL. Yeah. It looks so, yeah. Right. Yeah, image location. This should be a string, right, I guess. Yeah, why not? And we don't have that. JSON data. This is also going to be a string. And also a string for the name. JSON schema name. I'm actually going to change this to make it a little bit more descriptive in the code. And obviously I need to change all of this to something like image location or something like that. And run the nifty go fmt now. Okay, so why is this not working? Field JSON data isn't used. Fail to save cards, go the content file or compare. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one. Accept it. There you go. I'm gonna comment all of the stuff except the post one, because that's what we're gonna try and hack our way through very quickly. Oh, that was the post, right? Was that the post? No. Just want to get this to compile, and then we'll try it out on Postman. Have you played around with it before, Slim? Yeah, Slim, have you played around with SQL C, dude? Share your knowledge, man. Yeah, so what do we need here? So we have a post, which is add card request. That's never used. And then JSON decoder, we're gonna decode it into C request body, into add card request here. I mean, yeah, if we could not get post from DB. I mean, we could not decode, I guess. Could not. Oh, invalid request. Which is why, because you write SQL and it creates types for you, which is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound amazing, to be honest. I mean, that's something I'm missing. SQL first. I mean, I'm creating all these types here, which is basically just a representation of the SQL that I'm writing, so it would facilitate my life quite a lot, I think. It would help it. It would definitely help me save time. Now, JSON error invalid body request. Yeah, okay, this is fine, and we're gonna return there. Now, database add post, right? So with the database, obviously we need to add a new function here to the interface. In other words, we're gonna have to add add card, right? And we need the UID for that card, and then we need all the other information, I guess. What was it again? What was the information that we need? We need location, JSON, data, and schema name. Location, JSON, data, and schema name. Okay, so database. We need the location. So image, location, the JSON data, which is a string, and the schema name, which is also a string, right? Yeah, so that sounds good, which means I'll get errors everywhere because I actually changed the interface type for the database, which is the stuff I'm mocking. So, right, I need to basically implement that function for this one here, right? So I need to just copy and paste that card. So get posts. I've been wanting to look at it, but I had too much on my plate. I think, yeah. I mean, I've never seen it before, but I'm definitely going to take a look at SQLC now. By the way, do you guys say SQL, SQL, or squeal? I guess some people say squeal, which is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense, but what is the right way of saying it? That's my question. So we need a func. Actually, this would be up here, not down there. And this has to be a database or DB database, right? Okay. And we're probably going to do it as a transaction. So again, I'm just going to copy and paste this code. I don't really care too much about it. So I just want to get this done very quickly. And it doesn't match this because we should be returning an error here if it succeeded or if it failed. Okay. And I guess we can put in a name error. This is something that's very nice that I learned in Golang the other day. So like when you have the defer function that's supposed to handle the error, right? So for example, in this case, I'm opening a SQL transaction here, guys. And obviously you want to defer the rollback of the transaction if something doesn't go right in the logic here. If you don't want to ignore that error, you can just do this. Errors, oh sorry, you know, TX, rollback and whatever. But this rollback actually returns an error itself. So when you run a linter on it, specifically the linters that check that you handled all of the errors in your code, it's going to complain. So a way to do that is to basically get your function returning a named error, like the one in here. And I think we kind of need this now, right? So like that. And then in the defer function, you can just set that output error in here. And then you can pass up the error that happened in the defer function. So I say SQL. Yeah, I say SQL as well. SQL sometimes when I can't be asked, but yeah. I started saying SQL because that's what it is. Structured query language. Right. So yeah, that's a nifty little tip that I can give you in Golang that I've learned the other day. I'm not sure if you guys knew about it, but it's kind of nice when you want to make sure that you handle all of the errors, even the ones that happen in the defer function. But yeah, we've got a database connection there to begin, and we are adding the stuff to the database. We need to check that the image location isn't empty, right? And that it exists as well, I guess, right? So we can do, is it path that exists? Right. My Golang engineers, how do you check that a file exists? Check path exists, Golang. Oh no, I don't want to use the start. Check that file exists in Golang. What application did he make, guys? I'm still making I guess a CMS, dude. Sorry, that the word just came right over my ass there because that it was not in my head, basically. And I also want to make sure that I remove this annoying little emoji here because it's so fucking annoying. It's crazy. Hide element, there you go. It's os.exists, yeah, but does that check that it's a file as well? Or just, you know, it could be a direct, well, I guess that check is enough. By the way, Kimberly Williams, welcome to the stream, and this is the application I'm making, not this one. If you want to take a look at it, the description, the link is in the description, but it's a Golang application, which is it's just a Golang Headless CMS, right? We're still in the infancy stages, but we're working hard on this. So maybe in a month or two, we're gonna have something fully functioning. So yeah. But yeah, check it out, dude. Check it out and make sure that if you guys haven't done it yet, first of all, like the video. Don't forget to like the video. And also, please star that repository because I would appreciate it so much if I can get like something like 20 or 30 stars on GitHub. That'd be incredible. And also, like if you're interested in doing some Golang applications, feel free to contribute. You know, it's an open source project. You guys are welcome to contribute, and I will happily review your code. And I will happily discuss ideas with you guys on the GitHub. So yeah, we do the same approach as you did, bro. In terms of what, Slim? Like you mean the JSON stuff and the database? I mean, it's the first sort of like idea that came to my head. So yeah. os.exist. Let's try that. So os.isExist. What the hell is that naming? Yeah, my question is, this is not really a file checker, right? So it returns a boolean indicating whether the error is known to report that a file or directory already exists. Wait, what? This function predates error.is. It only supports errors returned by the package. New code should use errors.is. Okay, what? Is exists returns a boolean indicating whether the error is known to report that a file or directory already exists. Okay, so it looks like it tries to create the file, and then if it already exists, then it returns. But it says that we should also use this function here, error.is. So we can try that. Oh no, actually let's just stick to this one. Is exist. Ah, but I have to do a stat here, right? So I have to do a file stat, I guess. Wait, what? This takes an error. Never mind, I messed up. It's OS stat, then handle the error with OS is exist. Ah, okay, that makes sense now, yeah. So I didn't read the chat there. I was zoned out. os.stat is what we want for the file itself, so image location. So first of all, I think this has to precede this thing here. We can't have a named one. So in here, we're just going to check that the file exists and is a file, not a directory. I mean, ideally, check the extension as well. So yeah, we can do the stat here. So image stat. What does that return? File info and error. File info and error. Okay, so we can do that. That's fine, I guess. Now if we do os.is or errors.is. What's available to this? I'm still confused. Never mind, I messed up. The OS start, then handle the error with OS is exist. So this will return me an error if it already exists. You can do file info. You can also do file info. I'm gonna check that out. Oh shit, no. We cannot have this song. Anything from Kingdom Hearts is going to get us a copyright strike. Nice and shiny copyright strike on the YouTube channel. So, also let me make sure that you guys are you guys seeing ads in this video? Because like I'm supposed to be a YouTube partner now, and basically it just to see some some ads, but I'm not too sure about that because I never get them. Never get them. Or maybe I should have turned on the ads in the first place, but yeah, I mean, let me discard it. I don't think YouTube is going to allow me. Yeah, it's probably not going to allow you. Sadly, sir, I got to run off. Peter, thank you very much, dude. And, you know, before you go, drop a like. But yeah, it was nice chatting to you, sir, again. And, you know, good luck in your studies, man. I hope that you do well, man. That's all. Yeah. Yeah, when he discarded to me, let me know and I'll check it out. Okay, I mean, we can do this. I mean, yeah, I kind of understand now. So errors.is is the one we gotta use. Errors.is. And then we pass in the error itself, which is this here. And os.error not exist, right? So if the file doesn't exist, then we can say here, so return fmt.error file does not exist. image location. No ads. That's alright. Slim dude, I don't know why, but you're always very delayed, man. You're replying to things I say like 20 minutes ago, dude. Gotta sort out YouTube, man. But I'll remove your channel from my ad block so you can get ad revenue. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's using ad block, you know, support the little streamers like me and whitelist me. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so file does not exist. Okay, so we got that, and yeah, we return out of there. And I guess we can also move this database stuff down there because we're not actually creating it until down here. But yeah, we're gonna do that in a second. Now, if the image start, so now we know that it's not an error. So if, yeah, first of all, we gotta check the error, right? So if error is not nil, I mean, if the error is not nil, return fmt dot. Oh, just return the error here. I don't care. Yeah, we got to check that the error isn't nil after that. Only then we can do a file start here. So we can say if the image start is a directory, which it shouldn't be, we're going to return fmt dot error fmt given path is invalid. Okay, so all of this just to check that we have a valid image, right? And now we can start doing things with the other stuff, which is making sure that we have no empty JSON and the schema name, right? JSON data, can I have empty data? Actually, this will be interesting. So if we're adding something to the database, should we check that the data, the JSON data being added to the database is valid before we add it? I think we should, right? I think we should. So let's do that. Send, that's okay. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at your approach, my man. So general. Oh, I've got a tip for you, dude, as well. So when you're doing code on Discord, add the 3 dots like this. And then whatever you have inside here, this is going to be code, right? And then you can kind of just add. So that makes it nicely formatted for you. But yeah, I get you. Start file name if it's not nil. Yeah, okay, I see. Thank you, yeah. I mean, this is kind of what we did, right? We kind of did the same thing here. Yeah. I guess the error is going to work if it's nil as well. Like, it's going to be no if the error is nil. Let's just check anyway. Okay, it doesn't say anything, so I'm guessing it's going to work. We can try it. We can do some tests, right? We can do some tests. Yeah, so I think we can do the JSON stuff now. So let's add the support for JSON schemas. And I've just realized something. I'm gonna massively gotta go last meet. Yeah, Carlos, no worries, dude. But thank you for joining, man. Hope to see you again, right? Later, maybe if you're free. I'm gonna add a new directory here called schemas, where the user can specify the JSON schemas, right? So let's do that. So I'm gonna create a JSON schema from the data here. So the card I'm gonna do is like a person card, right? So the name, which is gonna be a string, like my name here. I'm gonna have the age, which is gonna be my age. And we're gonna have, I don't know, height or something, right? Say I want to store this for some reason. It's like a matching application or something, right? Like, hopefully I can make it back before the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming for quite a long time today, dude. It's a Friday, right? So I have nothing to do tomorrow. My high is gonna be something like 1.20. So that's not my high, by the way. There you go. That's my high. In meters, by the way. Yeah, so does it generate a schema from this? Generate schema. So integer number required. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we can do that. So this is a draft for schema. And we're going to save that inside schemas, right? So inside here. So this is going to be my person schema. And we have that now. Can I do a JSON beautify? Okay, good. So now it's all formatted quite nicely. And I'm gonna make a little change on the settings, because before we were able to provide whatever path to the schemas we wanted, but I'm just gonna make it so that the user has to put the schema here for the card schemas, and it's gonna load the name like person.json from here. So basically, I'm just gonna be schema name there. Nothing too interesting, so yeah. And I need to look at my, I guess my app settings struct, wherever that's defined, because then we have this here. So I'm just gonna have the name there, right? That's all. And that should do for that change. And in here, I guess we can lazily read that file in. Yeah, I think we can read that file in here. I've got some messages on Discord. Yeah. So we can lazily run the schema here, so we can load the schema. And as a to-do, we probably want to pass the schema data instead, because we're going to have this loaded into memory, right? We don't want to have to do a file read every time someone hits this endpoint, because it's going to be long. You know, file reads are quite long, and they can kind of decrease the performance of your application quite a lot. But again, this is just an admin application, so you know, you're not going to get 1,000 hits in one go to this endpoint. But yeah, you want to do it properly eventually. So we want to say if that JSON schema name is empty, we want to put an error, right? So return fmt.errorf. Can I have an empty schema name? And then we can try and kind of read the file here. So read all, I guess. Is read all what it is by error. Wait, what's the function for reading all the files in Golang again? I know there's like a neat little function in Golang that will read all the contents in the file and put it into a string. So read file in IOUtil read file. I think that's actually in OS now, right? Because it was deprecated. So os.read file, there you go. And then we can do schema name there. So we're gonna have that, and also I guess an error here, right? Because errors can happen. And if the error is not nil, yeah, if the error isn't nil, then we couldn't read the file, which we just simply return the error, I guess. Don't care too much about that. But then we have the schema, potentially a valid schema data, and we want to validate or read the schema. Yeah, and to read the JSON schema in, we're going to use a, I guess, a library that I found earlier, right? This one here, Go JSON schema. So let's use this one, which means I have to do go get that at latest. My bad. And we have JSON schema, and we're going to copy these 2 lines and paste it there. Okay, so schema data, new reference loader, go. Okay, no, we don't want a file now. We want to have a source. So new reference loader returns a JSON reference loader using the given source and the local OS file system. I want to read, like I have the JSON content already. So how do I create a new one just from the string itself? JSON reference loader, load JSON. What does load JSON do? I mean, it checks the prefix. If a reference has file scheme name, file scheme. What is that? Source. Can I just put the string here? That's what I'm wondering. Like, not much documentation, I'm afraid. But can I just do this? Schema data. And is it gonna work? Variable the type by, that's what we want. And we want a string here, right? No problem, no problem. So schema loader, document loader. No, I'm not convinced this is how we load an in-memory schema with this library. There are various ways to load your JSON data. In order to load your schemas and documents, first declare the appropriate loader. Web local file. Oh, there you go. This is what I want. So yeah, we can just a new string loader. Okay, yeah. So that's the one. New string loader. Can we pass in just the bytes there? Or maybe not. Is there a new buffer loader? New bytes loader, there you go. So we can do without the conversion to string, which is better. By the way, are you guys following this? Do you guys want me to explain anything? Let me know if there's questions or anything like that. Any just questions about anything really, like happy to chat with you guys. It gets quite boring just writing code all the time, so it's kind of nice to turn away a little bit and have a heart-to-heart chat about something, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think of where this is gonna go. So we potentially have the schema loader now. And what do we do with the schema loader? We get JSON new reference loader. Again, I guess we do have a document loader, which would be a new string loader, right, for the JSON. And in here we can have the JSON data, right? And validate schema loader and document loader, right? So all we do now is go JSON schema dot validate schema loader, and then the document loader, right? And what does that return us? That returns us a result. So it can have a result and an error. if there was an error, I guess we're just gonna return that error. And what does the result give us? Oh, okay, so we have to check if it's valid or not as well. Document is not valid. Okay, so if we're inserting an invalid document somehow, right? So we do another if result dot isn't valid. Result dot add error, errors. What does that return us? Go JSON schema result errors. Ooh, okay. And does that implement error by any chance? I wonder. Does this work? No, it doesn't work. Yeah, cool. It doesn't work. We're gonna have to do something like we did in the past, which is, I guess, strings.join. And then we have the result.errors. And then we're gonna join them with a string separator here. And we're gonna do fmt.errorf. Wait, what? Oh, we can't join it either because that is not a... does not implement the missing method error. Yeah, I guess we can just do a for loop here. Okay, so JSON error for E in there. I guess what I'm gonna do is like do a errors.join. I guess what I can do is like just do the JSON error. It's gonna be fmt.errorf. Whatever we have here. We do have a string already, so surely we can just do this. Yay, nice. Okay, that should be good, right? I believe. Then in here we can just return a very long way to return an error, I know, but I want to get all of the errors encapsulated into one error so we can kind of see what it gives us back, right? If we have multiple errors, for example. So at this stage, we know that it's valid, right? When it's here, we know that the JSON data is valid indeed. We should have probably done this check up here as well, wherever we're kind of just before doing the schema. Okay, that's a little bit better. So at this stage, what do we know? all of that just to kind of validate that the image location is valid, that the JSON data that the user is sending in for the cards is actually valid as well. And then the schema name is also kind of valid, and these two, you know, and you validate the JSON data with the schema given. So yeah, I mean, one thing that I kind of haven't done is we read the file. We kind of want to do an OS path join, I guess, or path file path dot join, file path dot join. There you go. And what does this one take? A lot of strings, right? So you can do something like schemas, I believe it is. And this is a note here. This only works when the current working there is the urchin root there. And it does that because we're setting the path to schemas, which is in the root directory, and then we have schemas here, right? So that's what we have here. Damn, this gets a lot more complicated every time I further look at it. But you know, still much easier than doing other types of development. This is a breeze compared to developing other types of application. So, in fact, what do you guys think about web development? Like, you guys that actually worked in, I guess, different areas with different languages in different industries, what do you feel about web development? Where do you stand on it? Because I like it, and I like it because it's easy. Like, there isn't anything too complicated, and there isn't anything that you can't just Google online. So I do generally have a good time when I'm doing web development just because of that. Like, it's quite easy to get going, and it's very easy to find the right resources online. But I wonder what you guys think. Like, if there's still anyone watching this, I don't know. But yeah, so at this point we know it's valid, and we can insert everything to the DB, right? And this is where we kind of copy and paste all of this code from up here. Because up to this point we weren't really using the database, so it wasn't worth creating that database connection while the files are being read, and you know, and so on and so forth, because you're holding a database connection there when you're reading files, when you're doing I/O, which can be long sometimes, but yeah. Okay. And then we can insert into, I guess, we want cards, right? Cards, we have UUID, image location, and we have JSON data and JSON schema. I think that's what it was called. Hello, Becca. Yeah, I think that's what it was called on the database. I'm not too sure now. I need to take a look at it because I completely forgot, to be honest. JSON data, JSON schema, and then the JSON location, right? Hello, Susie Tags. Good to see you, man. Join us for some Golang today, yeah? Yeah, so image location, JSON data, and JSON schema. So we have 4 values, and we kind of need the 4th one here as well. You too, yeah, thank you. It's been a crazy week, but I gotta go. As long as you drop the like, dude. Drop the like and a heart emoji here, and you're Gucci. Thank you very much. But yeah, good to see you, dude, and have a good weekend if I don't see you again. So we have image, location, and then we also have the JSON data, and then the JSON schema. Right, yeah. Thank you, Suzy Tags. And I think that's it. I mean, this is basically it. It's like identical to the post adding thing. Error F format S reads arg2 but has one arg. Okay, that's because I forgot to do JSON error here. Great. You know, I think this is pretty much it. We have the add card function in our database structure. So now we should be able to hopefully go into cards.go and call that, right? So we have add image here, and this is what we need to add. Let me do a quick add post request. I'm gonna call it add card request, right? Or something. But this function takes quite a few different things. So it takes the UID, and it takes the image location, the JSON data, and the schema name, right? That's what it does, and it doesn't return an ID. No new variables on the left-hand side. Yeah, no new variables on the left-hand side. What we're missing, card UID, right? So we need to replace the UID stuff here. In fact, I'm just going to copy and paste it from the posts somewhere. Where is my add post? Post handler, right here. Yeah, so I decode the post. No, this is, I want to copy it from the image one, sorry. Because this one has the UID stuff. And there you go, that's how I can generate a new UUID. That's all I wanted to do. So going back to this, I can put that there. And put that in there. And the schema name, why is that not working? Too many calls in there. So I need UID name and, yes. So I have UID, image location. Okay, so what is not working in this case? Not enough arguments to call add image. Oh, did I just mess up? I just messed up here. This is not what I meant to do. This is the one I was meant to do. So add card, yeah. I was just calling the wrong function. That's fine. Cannot use card as a string argument. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can just do that. Yeah, I think we're good now, right? So this will add the card to the database. And that's pretty much it. From the point of view of the user, this is what we have to do. So if the error is nil, we return that. If the is okay, we want to return the ID to be the UUID.string here. In fact, the card UID as string. Yeah, if it worked, we just send back the UID to the user. Now, what's the issue here? Postcard handler is never used. And we're about to change that because we're going to add this endpoint to our application. Right, so this is where we set things, and we got the image related stuff and the card related endpoints. Now, what do we want to say here? So we want to do a card. Yeah, we just want to put, I guess, the card here, right? So we do a post card handler, and then we pass in the database, and that's it. That was adding the endpoint to the database, and now let's see how it works, shall we? So okay, urchin, we have some tests in database mock, yeah. We have a database mock issue here because we mocked the database and we, as you probably guessed, we changed the database interface, so this database mock can no longer be a mock, right? But there's an easy way to do this. I mean, we can just kind of just add a new one here. So add card, I think it is. And that is it. That will fix the tests. We're going to add some tests, of course. We're not quite doing test-driven development here, TDD, because we're adding the tests after. But you know, this is what we're dealing with here. Yeah, so let's see now. Let's see if we can actually run the admin application, shall we? And if we can do something cool. So yeah, let's do it. So we're running the admin application. So we are listening. Ooh, kernel launch process is not an executable file. We'll figure out why in a second. Admin application, urchin admin. That is the program. I'm confused. There you go. Second time around it just worked. So let's go into Postman and add the endpoint so we can try it out, right? So let's create a new folder here. And this is going to be for the cards. And we're just going to copy and paste one of these, I guess. So when you add a request here, rename it to add card. And then we can kind of do a localhost, and then I think it's 8080 where we are now, right? 8080, yeah, seems to be the one. Card. The keys that we want, right? So image location, we want that there. What else do we want? Actually, no, we don't want a key on the header. We want it on the body. Can I have a JSON? Wait, what? How are we doing the post here? Let's check this one out. So body is raw. Okay, so we're just adding the JSON here. That's fine. And then we add raw. Text JSON, yeah, there you go. Image location. You want, you know, some path that's going to break. And we want to add, I guess. Ooh, can we get JSON inside JSON? That's the interesting bit, right? So JSON data. Let's find that out. No JSON here. And the schema. I think it's called person, right? Save that and let's run it and see what happens. So we have postcard handler. Let's put a breakpoint there and run this stuff. Okay, so what happened here? So we obviously didn't return anything. Why is that? So error reading config file, creating an instance of that. Yeah, why did it not work? Page not found, card. Ah, it's because it's a put. There you go, let's rerun this. Gotta go, take care Slim. Thank you for joining, dude. And yeah, have a nice weekend, man. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream again on the weekend, so I'll guess I'll see you next week, man. But yeah, have a nice one, dude. Yeah, so let's run that now. Add card, send. Okay, now we hit the breakpoint, which is good. So we got all of the values that we needed. We created a UUID for the card. And then we're gonna go into oh dude, cannot have empty name. Okay, failed to add post, cannot have empty name. What is the issue here? Cannot have empty name. Probably failed here, right? So it's one of these errors. Okay, yeah. Let's rerun this and see why it was empty. So we have the add card request image location here. Oh yeah. Ah, yes, of course it's empty. It's because we don't have any JSON stuff, right? I always have a JSON data and JSON schema. Right, this should be better now. Yeah, it's still though, it paused when it's not supposed to pause. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check that, because it's not supposed to parse something, and it's supposed to return an invalid request if we can't decode it, right? So maybe we can change something on the decoder, not disallow unknown fields. Yeah, that's what we're missing here. So basically, yeah, if we didn't have this stuff here, like we didn't before. So if I just copy this and then comment it out and remove one of these, I guess, all of them, right? Shall we do? The same request should fail now, because we have the disallow decoder thing, disallow unknown fields. And there you go. So we have invalid post request. That's better now. So that's all that's missing there. So yeah, let's remove that again and comment this one out. Okay, no errors this time, and we should have all the data that we need, as you can see here. And here we go, cannot have. So file does not exist, that's the first error we hit, and we expect that because the file doesn't exist, right? Which is good. Now, I'm gonna pass in a media file, right? So pass in the path to this one here. So copy the path there. And pass in something that does exist and the user has previously sent an image to, essentially. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send a media file in to the request. In the body we have image location. What is going on here? Oh, there's no vim. .png, what? Why does he have two dots, dude? Why does this have two dots? They all have .png, but okay. So there's an error in the in the upload somewhere. But if it's media, we should be able to look at it now. So let's send this. And again. Okay. So the file does exist now because it defines it. And it's not a directory, which is good. Now the JSON data is not empty in this case. And schema name is not empty because we have person. And it's not going to work because we forgot the JSON file here. So it's going to return an error. And what's the error that we get? Failed to add a post, open schemas person, no such file or directory, right? Open schemas person. So, okay, we can take a look at maybe improving that error a little bit. So we have that. and we failed essentially in this one down here. In this one. Can I have empty schema? No, we failed right here. Yeah, so we can kind of join this a little bit, right? So fmt.error f, and then we can do schema name, I guess, and the error. Let's rerun that and then send in the request. Okay. Yeah, person, open schemas, person, no such file or directory. Yeah. That is good. Oh no, we already had that in there, never mind. So that error was fine. It's just that I forgot to do a .json here. But the error was fine the way it was actually, didn't realize. Now this should be better. This should be a lot better now. Oh, it's already running. Let's add that post. So failed schemas person.json. Oh gosh. All right. So there's another error, and it's because we need actually fmt.sprintf here. And we kind of need that there. Oh, this is not Rust. This is not Rust. This is not Rust. Okay. Schema name. And there you go. We're gonna get it right at some point, right? I guess we're gonna get it right. Is there anyone still watching this? Or am I just talking to myself now? I love talking to myself. I used to do it quite a lot. So invalid character. Message to add post. Invalid character, oh, in literal, null. Expected you. So failed to add post, invalid character. Oh, let's see what actually... We don't have that much context in this error, so that would be a good place to add. So basically, I think what we missed is the validation that messed up, right? So we can send the request again and see what happens and where it exactly fails. So JSON data, JSON name, and we read that JSON schema. So the document loader, so it fails on the document loader, right? So it doesn't load a JSON file, which is fine. We can do that. So in here we can kind of do an fmt error f. Could not I guess could not read JSON data and then the error itself, right? That would be a better error. Let's recompile it and see what happens. Yeah, could not read JSON data, invalid character, oh, in literal. Okay, that's better, isn't it? Good. Now, let me see if we can actually add the document that we want to add. So I believe we had the schemas in here somewhere to add to the database. In the schemas directory. Oh God, can I quick collapse everything? So we have schemas, person, JSON, right? And we have name, age, and height. That's what we're looking for. So I want to add this JSON inside the JSON file itself. Can we do that? I think we can, right? JSON inside JSON. Now I want to do a JSON string inside the JSON. We can just escape the string, right? I guess it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, there you go. So we just like escape the JSON. That's fine. But it's kind of annoying that we have to put JSON inside JSON and escape it. But you know, it's not that big of a deal right now. So we can have this, and then we can have something like name, Well, we're gonna get a copyright strike for the song, so let me skip it. Anything with Zelda, copyright strike. YouTube does not care. Age, and then we have my age, which is like 11. Let's put 11 for the sake of it. I'm not 11, by the way. And then we can have the height, right? And I am 2 meters and 2.1 meters, as you guys know. I'm a huge Chad, that's what I am. Yeah, let's see if we can send this now, shall we? And it should match, hopefully, it should match the person. Type, okay, number. Send that in. And if we haven't made any mistakes, right? I don't think we have. We've escaped everything. Okay, yeah, so the JSON is valid. It is valid. Amazing. And then we are opening the database. Ooh, something happened. Failed to add it out. TCP lookup MariaDB. Ah, okay, yeah. This is because I have an invalid setting on my urchin config. So this should have been localhost here. This is MariaDB because that's how it's doing on the Docker Compose, by the way. We're gonna reload that and then send that JSON again. And it was very boring to test this, but we gotta do it, right? We gotta make sure it's working. We gotta make sure it's working. Okay, so far so good. And then we have the connection. And then we have an error. Unknown database urchin. Yeah, another configuration error. This is again because that's how things are done on the on the database, on the Docker Compose file. So we need to do, I think it's Go CMS here. Further rollback. if anything bad happens. So it's like the defer function is running anyway. Huh. So yeah, how does the refer function work? Is it because the error isn't nil, so he runs it anyway? Okay, no, this is also something that's probably going to bring us a copyright strike. Let's move on. Golang, when does defer run? So he defers the statement returns, right? Maybe I'm not calling it right then, so Golang SQL defer rollback. If you are sure that you will be called even if you do an early return, and the trick is that calling a committed transaction will not actually do the rollback, because once a transaction committed, okay. Yeah, maybe we just have to ignore to not do the rollback if it's committed, right? So yeah, maybe it's not actually an error, and it's not. I think it did succeed in the end. It did add to the database, right? So if I do a MySQL use Go CMS, and then I show everything from cards. I'll select everything from cards, sorry. Ah, there you go. So it did run. It's just that I guess the rollback returns an error if it's already been committed. So is there a way to check here? So if we do tx dot has committed or something, repair. No, this is not what I want. I want to see if it's already been committed really. So sorry, seems not required. The driver will close the connection. I think we can just use defer tx rollback no matter committed or panic, because if tx is done, rollback will do nothing. Yeah, I understand that, but I want to kind of check Golang x SQL check transaction commit. Yeah, I guess I can put the commit in the defer as well, right? That would be neat. Yeah, let's move that in here. I like that. I mean, it's not exactly what the person suggested, but you know. So if we haven't committed, we can roll back. That's all it's saying. That's all that we're saying right here, right? If error equals to commit. I guess this is not quite what I want though. So I want to do something like I can do that. So I'm going to join commit error as well. Yeah, good. I think that works. Yeah, that works fine for us. So basically, we'll try to commit the transaction, and if only if that returns an error, we're gonna check. We're gonna pass in the. We're gonna execute the rollback, right? That's all. And in that way, we're not ignoring any errors. And we can do the same thing wherever we call rollback in here too. So something like there. Let's see where rollback has been called, and in here too. So it should all be in this commit. Okay. Yeah, let's try it again. Let's see if it actually works now. Let's cancel that request and let's send another one. Failed. Transaction has already been committed or rollback. Transaction has already been committed or rollback. Why can't we just do things very simply? I'm gonna send it again though, just in case. Just in time, Carlos. Yeah, we're testing the endpoint now, so we've done quite a bit. Database, add card, and then we have. I want to check this out here. Where's the transaction? Yeah, this is what I want to check out. So here, transaction's already been committed. Oh yeah, because we have forgotten to remove that one. And then we forgot to remove this one too. Yeah, very annoying that if you defer the rollback call on the database, it will run no matter what, right? So even if you commit the transaction with Golang, it still will run the rollback, which then creates an error for you. It generates an error. So the solution is to put the commit also in the rollback, in the defer function, and only run the rollback if commit returned an error. So I thought that was quite neat. Let's just make sure that all the commits are actually happening inside of the defer functions now, which they are, which is great. Let's rerun this and add another card. And we should have no errors now, so good. There you go, no errors. And looking at the database again, we can see that all of these things were added. Like we've got all of them being added here. And we have a new ID for each one of them. We have a media location for each one of them, and a person, right? Interesting. Now, can we add a basic renderer for this on Templ? I think we can, right? So let's try that out. So this is one way of doing this. Now we can basically add it. Obviously, we're gonna have to get the cards from the database now. So we're gonna add a new endpoint here. Instead of add card, we're gonna basically come up here. I'm gonna uncomment some of the stuff. Dude, I need a break. I need a pee break. I've been coding for like... It's been 2 hours now. Shit, it's been 2 hours. Time's going flying. That time's flying, dude. When you're actually enjoying what you're doing, time's flying. So yeah, Carlos, how did it go, man? Meeting with work, I guess, right? So hopefully all's well. All is well. I did. I said once, but I'm gonna say it again. Congrats, dude. You know, getting a new job. That's big. That's big. It's Go, I tell you. Nice, nice. Yeah, indeed, Go. It's so nice to write in Go. It was always super fun. Yeah, I agree. So we're gonna get the posts, and then we're also gonna have a get post here. So we're gonna have a get card. We're gonna get the card. And what do we need? We just need the card ID, right? And we're going to return a common.card. Now we don't have a common.card, but we do have a common.post. So we're going to basically just create a new struct here. And what do we need? We need the ID. We have, I guess, the JSON, the image location. Now, this is duplicated in two places. I'd like to change this, but yeah. Apparently, we're going to be having 2 meetings a day, one at 12 and another one at 4. Since I'm new, I didn't know until I'm 8. Ah, okay. Dude, make sure you're doing work and not just watching my stream when you're supposed to be working. I appreciate that, but, you know, focus on the work. Gotta make sure your bosses see you as someone who's actually really good, which you are, of course. JSON data, and we have the JSON schema. Let's call that Go FMT. Okay. And in database we have the get card, and we common card and return an error. All right, good. That's good for us. Now we have get posts here, and we're also going to have a get card, right? So wherever we have yeah, the meetings only last 30 minutes, so no issues at all. All right, cool. So you like talking to clients straight away? I guess you are, right? That's your job. You're talking to clients and selling them shit. So rows, select title. I'm gonna select image location, JSON data, and we're also the JSON schema from cards, where UUID is equals to UUID. We want image location, and we want card here. We want JSON data, and we also want card.json schema. Right? Or a schema name. Yeah, speak to realtors and hopefully they strike a deal, yeah. I'm sure you're gonna get many deals, dude. Hopefully you get a nice commission out of it as well, man. And that's the thing with sales. Sales, you always get a commission, so the more you sell, the more you get. And we're gonna return here card with nothing, an error. Yeah, we have a few different things though, so obviously we have to validate the JSON here. Which is going to be the same function as we had here, so we can kind of, I guess we can kind of like put this whole schema stuff into a function. So yeah, we can put it all into a function. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do exactly that. we're going to return the card and nil, right? So yeah, let's do that function where we say, you know, func validate JSON. And here we want the JSON data, which is a string, and then we want the JSON schema name, I guess, which is also a string, right? And we're going to return a boolean out of that, and boom, paste all of this shit into it. So schema data, we want the schema data, I guess. I mean, yeah, Carlos Gomez. But just before the meeting, I finally read through Alpine's JS docs. Took maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I'm a fan of Alpine, covers HTMX weak points. Wait, when you say, you talk about Alpine quite a few times, do you mean Alpine as in the Linux distro? Because that's what you meant. That's what I thought you meant, dude. Where you know, there's a Linux distro called Alpine, which is kind of like lightweight, and you can create very, very lightweight Docker images with it. Like literally images that are like only 50 megabytes. But I think you mean something else, right? Is that what you mean? Because yeah, let me know, dude. Because I agreed with you before. I thought Alpine was great because, you know, I know the distro myself. But if that's not what you meant, I'd like to know what you meant. So yeah. The commission is crazy. If I do well this first month, I get paid way more than I've ever had in my bank account. That's good, dude. You know, it's an incentive for you to actually do well. But yeah, like honestly, man, you know, if you apply yourself as a salesperson and you're really good, you can make bank. I've got family members who are salespeople in like America. I've got friends who work in sales in the UK as well, and you know, you can be quite good if you're good at the job. So yeah, just make sure you apply yourself, dude. So yeah, so what do we have here? FMT error. So that's all we gotta do, and then return. Right, this is it. I mean, this is the function that validates the JSON, right? And it's not used anywhere, but we're going to use it right here. So we're going to do a validate JSON, and we're going to pass in the JSON data and the schema itself. Schema data, I guess schema name. We only really care about the error in this case, I guess, right? So if error is not nil, we do fmt dot error f could not read. We just return the error here, right? We already took care of all of that. Okay. Yeah, but now we can also use this function here. So like validate JSON. You got the card.json data. Is that right? And we have the JSON, the schema name, I guess. Oh, we forgot to do the OS or the path. File path. join, and we want to look at schemas. Is it schemas that we have? Yeah, schemas, and then we want to do an fnt.sprintf .json here with the schema name in there. That'll make sure to get this file here. So when you do person, you'll look at person.json. That's it. We should be good to go, right? Should be Gucci now. Should be Gucci. Schema not declared. Only works. Wait, which function is this? Add card. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Yeah, so we validated the JSON. So if it's valid, we've got it down here, which means we can return oh, wait. We can validate JSON here, and then we can return the card later on. Now, I want to make this not be a string, the JSON data. I want this be kind of like an interface. Is that possible? Like, so it can be any structure possible, like no, at runtime. So JSON to struct Golang. Let's see how that's done. Oh, no. See, I can't have this either because that means we have to define the JSON types at compile time, which we don't know that. We want to let the user know, kind of parse the data to some sort of like structure that we can pass to the temple, right? So let's do that. If you want to output structure and the keys in the input remain the same, then it's possible to do what you require using a marshaller interface. I've implemented a very crude only string implementation. Maybe a map with an interface. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But I know that there's this idea of like an unmarshaller. So I'm trying to look at this. It looks very intensive though, but so a marshal JSON by, and it gives it an error. No, this is not what I want either, because this is defining the item struct. At compile time, we have to write that before we compile the program. Yeah, so maybe we can do something like that, Carlos. That's what I'm wondering. Dynamic JSON in Go. Yeah, that looks interesting. So that looks like an interesting read. Let's zoom in a little bit because Jesus Christ, the text here is small. Actually, let me go for a quick break. So I'm gonna add a text here. I'll come back in a second. Let me see if I can. Okay, so going for a quick pee break. That's it, right? There you go. Oh, that is way too big though. Lower a bit so I can read. Yeah. But I'll leave it here so you can kind of see if you can make some sense out of it. So where's the color? There's no color for this. Select font. Do I really have no color on this? Ah, there you go, color. Background color. There you go, bright. I'll be right back, dude. I'm back now, guys. Sorry, that was a quick pee and smoke break. So, hello Bonlet. Is that Boonlet? Is that how you spell your name? Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome. Let's do some Golang. Let me turn off this text now. There you go. So yeah, let's see how we can do runtime JSON in JSON. Runtime JSON structures in Golang. The actual message is here. So we interpret with sound and cowbell. Yeah, see, but this is, again, not solving the issue. The issue I have here is that I don't want to define these types manually when I have my views, right? I mean, I guess the user could do that in a way. Like, you can have a card type being generated by Templ in a Templ view, right? So we could tell the user to do that. From what I read, it seems like you might still need a basic struct to marshal a marshal. Yeah. Let's see how this pans out. So we have a message, which is an interface, and that message can be, I guess, sound or cowbell, right? So what are they doing here? Wait, what the hell? Nothing special there. Yeah, I mean, this is nothing special indeed. Message is going to be a sound. Yeah, let me rewind my thoughts. So basically, we're getting a person, right, of this type here, which has a name, age, and height from the database. And maybe we can force the user to kind of define a structure in a Templ file, right? So when they have the views here, we're going to create a card views in a bit. Maybe we can have like a card.templ file that defines a structure called person. And it would be nice if we can unmarshal whatever we get from the database into the type that the user sets, right? Maybe we can lower our expectations a little bit. So the user will have to do some more work, which is fine. Fine to me. But in that way I can use this here. I can use this, I guess this approach. Read lower in the article. Might have found something. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm just trying to see if this approach might work as well, because it's quite simple compared to this here, I believe, right? If you just ask to marshal the above JSON objects into envelope, type from the above, you'll end up with message being map interface. Yeah, that's not very nice, and will make you regret your life choices. It's JSON raw message. Okay. So for example, they've got an input with a message. Okay. So envelope JSON.unmarshal. They've got the bytes input. And it's going to be going into the envelope. Yeah, so it's a map of strings. Okay. Map of string. I'm marshalling the very explicit way. Previously, I used to recommend changing the envelope type like this. So JSON raw message is useful type that lets you postpone the unmarshalling. It just stores the raw data as a byte. Okay, this lets you explicitly control the unmarshalling of message and does delay that until after you've branched out based on the value type. The downside of that is that now you need to explicitly marshal JSON message first, or you need a separate envelope in and envelope out types. I don't understand what this meant, but let's see. So envelope message interface. Switch env type. Ah, okay, I see what he means. Yeah. So we're gonna JSON unmarshal message into S. Yeah, but the user still needs to write this, which is not ideal. How to put everything at the top level. While I heartily recommend you put the parametric body under a single, sometimes you work single key. Sometimes you work with pre-existing formats that just don't do that. So envelope type string, JSON and Marshall, the buffer into envelope. And then switch on the type. Yeah, I don't want to see, I don't have the luxury of writing this switch here because this structure is not going to be defined. It's going to be defined by the user, you see. So where is JSON raw message? Yeah, I don't see how JSON raw message is useful in the wait. So how to combine the good aspects of the two approaches above by putting a JSON message into the interface field. Interface. So message is the raw message. And then if we unmarshal the byte import, M-type sound. Yeah, it would still be nice for the user to, like, let me show you guys what I meant, right? So ideally we're gonna have a new file here, which is gonna be called the card, right? Card.temple. Oh, cards.temple, right? We can do all of them at once. And let's just copy it from the, actually, yeah, let's copy it from the post. Yeah, you're right, the user will still have to write the switch. Yeah, the user will still have to write the switch. That's my point. I want to make it even easier than that. So let's just do one card, right? So let's just rename it to card. And we can copy whatever we have in the post here and put it into the card. So package view, so make card page, right? So we're gonna have the title. Oh, what's in the title? Yeah, and here what we're gonna have is the, I guess, the JSON data, which is gonna be a string, right? And we know that this is should be a valid JSON string. Maybe we do need I don't know if we need the JSON schema here. I'm not entirely sure, but let's quickly generate I guess an image. Sorry, an image card here. So cards. Oh, I already had that in here. Let's just put that in there, right? Something like that. This is what we're gonna have in our main. Just copy and paste it straight from W3 Schools. Wait, why is there two divs? Okay, there's two divs because one of them is. Let's keep it in an article, shall we? Actually, yeah. Damn it, let's keep it in an article. So the title is going to be the name, right? So we want the, like, somehow I want to get the person.name here. That's what I want to do. So the person.name. And somehow I also want to get things like my age, right? So age is going to be not the content. It's going to be something like, you know, person dot age here. And we're going to do the same thing for the height as well. I want to do this. This is what I want to do in the end. Maybe Tempo has something that helps us with that. I don't know. I don't think this article is going to help us right now, though. Let's look at the Templ documentation, shall we? Now, where would it be in the documentation? That's the that's the interesting an interesting problem. Now we have to find where in the documentation it's going to be. Syntax and usage, for loops, template composition, using JavaScript with Templ, rendering. Maybe we can use Google here. So Golang Templ JSON. Golang use JSON in Templ directly. Yeah, so this person, you know, so you can use JSON and Marshall to marshal JSON text into a Go value. You can simply use Go type interface to represent any arbitrary JSON value. Usually, if it is a struct, map string interface is used and is more useful. You need to refer to values stored in Go code. Okay, let's see what this guy has. So template execute and template. Okay, this is not quite what we want, but so the Templ is there. Dot something a something else. Okay, now this is interesting. What is this? So function main. What are they doing here? So they are unmarshalling the JSON data, which goes into a map interface. Yeah, maybe you were right all along, Carlos. Maybe map is the way to go. Map interface. So Templ execute. Yeah, maybe we can do this, right? Now let's see if Templ has an actual unmarshal. Templ unmarshal. I would still like to see if there's like a component that maybe can help us here. Template composition. Comments, context. So what problems does context solve? This could be interesting. You can cumbersome to pass data from parents through the children component, since it means that every component in the hierarchy has to accept parameters. Oh, this is something we need to do anyway. Context, by the way. Technique of passing data through a stack of components is sometimes called pop drilling. In this example, the middle component doesn't use the name parameter, but must accept it as a parameter in order to pass it along, yeah. So you can see here, we call the bottom, which takes in the name, and we just pass the name from the top to the bottom by just taking in the name itself. I mean, this is not related to what we want, but I want to read this anyway for a second. One way to pass the information is to create settings, struct and pass it through the stack as a parameter. Yeah. However, the settings struct may be unique to a single website and reduce the ability to reuse component in another website due to its tight coupling with the settings struct. Using context. To allow data to be accessible at any level in the hierarchy, we can use Go build context package. Oh, I still haven't been able to understand the context package. Yeah, this is what we're getting into now. It may be somewhat helpful to us. Within Templ components, use the explicit CTX variable to access the context. To allow the template to get theme context key from the context, create the contracts and pass it to the component's render function. Okay, so whenever we render, we pass in the context. So we define the context key type, context key string, theme context key, theme. Right, yeah, this is interesting because I don't actually understand this myself, so. So we can just pass like any value basically down the stack. Create a context variable that inherits from a parent and sets the value test. So context with value, context.background, theme context test. Pass the context variable to the render function. Yeah, I mean this is kind of what the you know, all the web frameworks do. They just, you know, pass in a context down the stack. And in that context we've got like the body, the header. So we could add to that context, I guess, as well. Rather than read from the context object directly, it's common to implement a type save function instead. This also is required when the type of the context is in a different package to the consumer of the context, and the type is private, which is usually the case. Alright, so get theme. So if theme and okay, if it has the context key, and it can be passed into a string, I guess. We return the theme. Otherwise we return nothing. This minor change makes the template code a little bit neater. Ah. Cool. Now we could probably combine this with the Marshall, the JSON and Marshall stuff, right? I guess. Yeah, this looks like we can combine this with the JSON Marshall stuff. Using context with HTTP middleware. In HTTP applications, a common pattern is to insert HTTP middleware into the request response chain. Middleware can be used to update the context that's passed to other components. Common use cases for middleware include authentication and theming. By inserting HTTP, we're definitely going to get a copyright strike, so I'm going to skip. By inserting HTTP middleware, you can set values in the context that can be read by any Templ component in the stack for the duration of that request. Right, yeah. Dude, I'm gonna create, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this today, but I'm gonna definitely create some of the issues here. So first of all, do we have something that compiles in the first place? No, we don't, because this will not compile. So I'm gonna just remove this to whatever it was before. Does the rest of it compile though? Yeah, the rest of it compiles. So I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna push this to a branch, and then we're gonna continue this work later because like it's getting involved and it's getting late, and I have an event tomorrow in the morning, so I need to wake up. But yeah, so add card support. I'm going to stop by the Discord, so hopefully we'll get a high-level overview about the application, because I think I can help out with some of this. Dude, that would be amazing if you want to get involved. You can definitely like push in some code, and I'm happy to review it for you, man. It's all open source, by the way, so you know, easy. So we've changed all of this. We want to do 7 as well. I'm heading out in a couple of minutes. Yeah, again, Carlos, you know, well done on getting the job, and you know, thank you for joining today, dude. It's been fun. It's been a fun coding session, and I think we both learned a lot, right? So, yeah. So post test is not in the test yet. Oh, that's interesting. But I do want to add the admin. What else have we done here? We've also got the schemas, right? So let's add that schemas. Anything else that we modified that we kind of want to push? Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for now. For sure, I actually have an article saved on Reddit specifically about the context package. Yeah, dude, that'll help me out quite a lot. I'll massively appreciate that. Right, let's create a pull request here, and then we leave it for another day. We'll continue that next time, definitely. Oh, as I usually do, I may work on this on my own time if I want to actually get things done quickly. And then I'll talk about it in the next stream on how I solved it. But yeah, I mean, for now it's good enough, right? And also, I'm not going to be able to do any code tomorrow because I've got like 2 events in the whole day. So like I'm kind of busy going to 2 birthday parties, believe it or not. So that's going to take the whole day. But yeah, Carlos, dude, it's been amazing. Thank you for joining. And if there's anyone else watching this, thank you for joining as well. And I guess I'll catch you guys next time. And yeah, bye-bye. Have a good evening. Ciao.